Joined Monitor 33 at Pembroke today. Tried to find out what 33 was like, but nobody on shore had seen any of her class. We were told she was a small monitor, called by the workmen, or whippet.
1915. The First World War, still under a year old, is not going well. But one success for the Royal Navy has been the performance of monitors, specialist shore bombardment ships on the Belgian coast. Could such warships help to break the stalemate by taking the offensive? Could they be part of the Gallipoli campaign, the bid to knock out Germany's ally, Turkey, by forcing through the Dardanelles and seizing her capital, Constantinople? They might, but many more of these simple and cheap ships will be needed, and quickly. In March 1915, First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, meets Director of Naval Construction, Sir Eustace Tennyson Danecourt, to discuss the matter. Action this day. One account says the first design for M33 and her sister ships is sketched out almost literally on the back of an envelope. Envelope or not, the idea is approved. The design goes forward and the building of M33 starts on the first day of April. On the 22nd of May, just 7 weeks later, she's launched and getting ready for her crew to join her.
I was very glad when my ship came in. I was eager to see her. There'd been quite a lot of talk about these monitors.
HMS M33 was built neither for comfort nor speed, but fast, to carry out a vital task. For those restoring her to life in Portsmouth Historic Naval Dockyard, that's an essential part of her story.
M33, this ship, just with a number, not a name, was a monitor built incredibly quickly, 7 weeks in 1915, specifically to be a coastal bombardment vessel, something that could get close to shore and fight against shore positions, troops gathering on shore, provide covering fire. So not a ship designed to fight at sea with other ships, but are all about land campaigns.
I'm more accustomed to a small ship, but this beats anything I've ever been in. We have a draft of only 6 feet, so we'll be able to go close inshore to do a little strafing if necessary. We know that there are about 20 of these whippets, and that we should eventually find ourselves in the Dardanelles, or else off the Belgian coast.
It's the question the Royal Navy's sailor always wants answered. Where are we headed? Mulligan and his shipmates soon knew. It was the Dardanelles for them. A century on, his ship is the sole survivor of the Gallipoli campaign, and one of only 3 Royal Navy ships still in existence from the whole of the First World War.
M33 is fantastically significant. So the plans are to get her open to the public for the first time in her life. There are only 3 surviving warships of the Royal Navy from the First World War. She has by far the most interesting service record. She is the only survivor of all of the RN ships from the great Gallipoli campaign, that campaign which cost over 100,000 lives in those kind of 10 months of 1915. She's that sole surviving veteran. She's our only link to that incredible event.
Now, that significance will be open to a wider audience, to all who visit Portsmouth Historic Naval Dockyard. But making her accessible to that wider audience is no easy task for the engineering team.
Being a riveted construction, it does give a lot of challenging aspects to the project. Being sat here in number 1 dock, it's a very old dock. English heritage are involved. Obviously, it's a listed monument. And with that, we're providing access into the boat for the public, not only for able-bodied, for disabled people as well, which we're providing a lift system, so for disabled people and people with young children, etc., can all come in and join and look it around with ease. So that's very challenging for us to provide that access.
But there's another challenge that goes with the task of making M33 open for all visitors. With audio-visual displays, 3D images, tactile technology, and the recreation of life aboard. There's also a duty to see to it that as much as possible of the original ship is preserved too. M33 Reborn will be no theme park, but a living memorial to those who served in her and the Royal Navy of World War I.
As you walk inside the ship, if you go inside the hold, as you come into those spaces, those main spaces, you'll see that she's incredibly atmospheric. The paint's peeling off, there's lots of different colours, there's some, not live corrosion, but there's some historic corrosion going on which we've stabilised and dealt with, but she's just an incredibly atmospheric vessel. Now obviously, what we don't want to do is go too far and over-conserve. And, you know, there were some initial ideas about the normal things that you would do with a ship, which is to blast and repaint and make it all new and fix it. Actually, this is a conservation project, and it really is a conservation rather than a restoration. So we have to make sure that we don't go too far, that we retain that character, that special atmosphere, to make it look and feel as a ship from 1914, which she fundamentally is. So that's really the challenge to me, is don't overdo it.
It's about bringing people to see this veteran for the first time. It'll be the only First World War naval veteran they get to meet next year. And my particular passion for her is that she is a workaday vessel. She's a basic ship, she's a workhorse. That might mean she lacks some of the glamour of HMS Victory, but actually it might mean she's more representative of the kind of life that the Navy had in the First World War. There were over 400,000 men in the Navy in the First World War. Most of them would have been on small ships like this or like destroyers. And we really want to bring home the reality of that life to people.
As leading seaman Mulligan said in his diary 100 years ago, there was quite a lot of talk about these monitors. When HMS M33 opens to the public on the centenary of her first action at Gallipoli, there'll be a lot more talk to be heard, as this unique First World War survivor once again feels the thrill of life along her keel.